So, what's been going on lately? You got a big fight on the horizon. You had to wait a little while for GSP to heal up, but I think it's going to be – this one's big. That one, it's pretty amazing with UFC. It's like big card after big card. That one's a gigantic fight, especially since it's a crossover fight with the weight divisions.
Yep. This is it. This is the fight. Without a doubt, this is the kind of fight that you wait your whole career for, and here it is, my opportunity. So I'm prepared, and I'm going to make the most of it.
Yep. And people should know that you guys did fight once.
We did fight once, and he ended up walking away with the split decision, and that's in the past.
Right. I think your comments on that fight was that it is not the Ultimate Takedown Championship.
It is not the Ultimate Takedown Championship.
Which that night it turned out to be for GSP.
Yeah, but that night it did turn out to be for GSP. He got more takedowns. He got the fight. But as time goes by, I'm not stinging from that anymore, especially now that I got this shot at a rematch at Redemption. I'm just in good spirits. I'm just happy to be alive, man. Happy to be here, happy to be alive.
It seems like you've changed over the last couple of years. Would you say that?
You could say I changed. I was just all about fighting and beating people up and, trying to beat people down and this and that. And now I'm all about, doing the same thing, but getting in shape to do it.
Right, away from the cage you've changed. Maybe your life has changed a little bit in terms of discipline. And
well, 8 years ago, eight and a half years ago, at 22 years old, I stepped into this octagon, and I had a dream of becoming a lightweight champion. Come January 31st, I'm going to be 30 years old, and now I have a dream to be one of the best fighters ever. You know what I mean? And it's just goals change, times change. I've had the highest highs and the lowest lows throughout my career, and here I am. I'm still standing, and I'm still ready to give them what they want.
When you say you had the lowest lows, explain that a little bit and talk about how you rebounded from it.
I would say the two lowest points in my career is when I dropped that fight to GSP, and then when I got put away by Hughes. I'd never been finished in a fight before, and it still didn't register until I turned 28. Though I was 27, I was still going out. I didn't care. I was living a carefree life, reckless, and when I turned 28, I was like, here I am. I'm still in a good position. A lot of people, after actually the fight that I lost to Hughes, that's when I think I gained the most fans. I got the most recognition everywhere I was going. It was, what's up, BJ? You're the best, man. You're the best. Go get in shape. You can be the best, and this and that. So I knew my popularity was there still among the fans, and I was just like, let's do it. Let's really see. I want to see what it feels like to be that good. I want to see what it feels like to be the best. I want to find out, and I want to look back and have no excuses and tell my kids or this and that I could have been this, and one of those older I get, the faster I was type of things. I just wanted to go and feel it for myself.
That's BJ Penn. He's the 155 champ with UFC. He's sitting down with us here at the MGM. It's Steve and Dave, ESPN Radio 1100. Tomorrow, they might have to tell BJ about this. You were a little surprised by this, but we're actually at a PT's locally. We'll be out there giving away tickets to the event. That's at 2:15 and Decatur, so make sure you come out. You can meet, greet with BJ, and these tickets are hard to get. They're expensive, too, so we'll have a set of tickets out there at PT's. The conditioning obviously was the biggest thing, and I've heard you say in the past, too, that a lot of the change was also the realization that the UFC's time is now. I mean, it's going to start exploding, and you got to see what this guy's doing on the web with BJPenn.com, because he's like a multimedia star now, and I think a lot of fighters, it's just starting to click. Like, not only do I want to be really good at fighting and enjoy the combat, but there's a lot of money here. So, to screw around a couple of years and maybe not be at the top of the heap, you may be losing out on a lot of money now and in the future.
Yeah, without a doubt, now is the time to be involved with this sport. I mean, look at it. You look at other sports, and it's just like, you don't want to downplay them, but it's just downright boring sometimes. When you look at the UFC and you got the two best fighters standing right across from each other, bouncing around, ready to get it on. I mean, I'm sure we all feel it. It's just so much excitement, and you can't cut it with a knife, and it's just that pressure and everything. And you hit the nail on the head. Right now is the time. Right now is the time to be involved with mixed martial arts. And I don't see. I mean, I see us making some money in this sport, but the next couple generations after this, they better look back and say thank you to us because they're going to be the ones signing the multi-million-dollar contracts.
Guess what? Fat chance. Because
really.
No one does that. The
We've
NBA
seen
guys,
that already. Yeah.
NFL won't do it. Dave's a big boxing guy. We cover a lot of boxing too. And
I'm a big boxing fan.
We know you are, and you're actually a really good boxing practitioner. We know that because I talked to Freddie Roach around one of the fights probably like 3 months ago, and he's still kind of unfamiliar with the MMA thing. He's working with Andrei Arlovsky, and he was talking about some guys who come into the gym. Now, I'm not going to say the names that he mentioned who he's like, they stink. But he was kind of like, he's like, there's that one guy from Hawaii, BJ. I was like, BJ Penn. He's like, that guy, pretty good. So, because they're really, this, with the hands, it's still pretty. I'm not going to say amateurish. Guys are getting better in MMA, but they're not boxers.
It's sloppy. Yeah, they're not boxers. A lot of guys, and because of mixed martial arts, a guy can specialize in wrestling, and then his hands are just terrible, or specialize in jiu-jitsu, and vice versa.
Right.
So that I take that as a very great compliment from a guy of Freddie Roach's caliber and level. And thanks a lot for pumping me up, Freddie. I'll give you the $50 as soon as I see it.
Also, I was going to say it also helps when you're a boxer stand-up guy, when you can I could take this table and slam it against your face, and I might not. This guy's chin, one of the most amazing things I've seen on The Ultimate Fighter was him sitting in the ring and footage as a coach, and he's just dropping his hand. He's like, and he's just taking like straight punches to the face.
I better stop doing stuff like
that.
Yeah,
seriously, you're getting old. That's good stuff. So, where do you think you are? Do you care pound for pound when you hear people talk about Fedor and Anderson Silva as clearly the best?
I think after I win this fight on January 31st, I should be the best pound for pound. I mean, if not, then there's no reason to even have a pound for pound list. If you're not going to put, me and George St-Pierre, the winner of that fight, to be on the pound for pound list. So.
Right.
We'll see what happens.
Well, I will say this. My recollection of that fight the last time around was you destroyed him in the first round. I've never seen George torn up that badly, and it was mostly stand-up. And then you did get tired as the fight went along, and he got a key takedown late in the fight. Do you think he's improved enough? Because he's actually kind of morphed into a guy who likes to go to the ground more. Do you think he's improved enough with his stand-up where he can actually stand with you for 5 rounds? Or is he going to have to turn to his wrestling and try to take this, really try to take advantage of his wrestling, which is also probably not a good plan because I haven't seen anyone really take you down since you.
I think he's got the guts for sure to stand in there for 5 rounds. I think as soon as the fight starts, he looks like the kind of guy who gets a lot of real tentative and real nervous, so he might come out and shoot a quick shot like he did to John Fitch. But, we all know what he's going to do. We're going to sit here and it's no secret he's going to try to kick my legs, use his kicks, and use his powerful takedowns, and then I've heard he's been working his jiu-jitsu. But everybody says, he's so good in every position. He's so good here, he's so good there, and all I got to say is no, he's not. He's not good when I'm mounted on him, and he's not good when I got his back. So when we get to those positions, we're going to find out how good he is there.
That's BJ Penn, the 155 champ. He's matching up against the 170 champ. That's going to be Super Saturday, right before the Super Bowl, back here in Las Vegas. All right. As a guy who's been fighting a long time, you put in your time to get to this level. You worked on this, I'm sure you're, 20-plus years now.
Drug-free all the way to this level.
That's actually...
No steroids, no growth hormone, no blood doping.
Your head's still the same size as it was.
My forehead and my stomach's still the same size since I started.
Yeah. Well, BJ's been pretty outspoken. He was, you did not back down at all from kind of trashing Sean Shirk.
Yep. I mean... I believe it's wrong. Like you said, I put my whole life into this thing, and you're going to come out, then why don't we just play we can dig eyes and we can cheat, you know what I mean? Because that's what it is, it's cheating. And one day someone, like any sport, someone's going to get seriously injured, and the someone on the other side is going to test positive for steroids, and then who's going to feel like a real idiot, you know what I mean? When they really hurt someone and paralyze them, and then they get busted for using steroids.
Do you think the punishment for Shirk was substantial enough, or what would you have done as commissioner?
To me, the punishment is already good enough as long as it gets out there. That's the punishment enough. I mean, you can suspend them, you can do all that. They'll be back to fight another day, but as long as everybody knows the truth, and I'm not picking on Shirk, me and Shirk have made up and this and that, but I'm just talking about in general in the sport,
Hey, just like in any sport, you're labeled for life.
Yeah.
And especially in this sport, I know as a media guy, I look at guys who have tested positive, and every time I see them in following fights, I look at their physique and go,
yeah,
you know, are they? Are
their
they
nipples?
not?
You look at their nipples. You look at their stomach sticking out. You know what I mean? And you know what's going on.
The problem is this:
the shoulders.
Here's the problem.
The shoulders.
Yeah.
And it's why I personally think the suspensions should be, as far as I'm concerned, it could be lifetime ban. It's because it affects the guys who aren't cheating just as much.
Takes food off my table.
Fan can have suspicions about you, whether you're doing anything or not. And yeah, look how strong he looks. He must be doing something. That's not right.
That too, and it just makes it look like a steroid sport. You know what I mean? When this thing is, there's nothing more technical. There's so much technique and so many angles and stuff that you got to cover, and you know, and it just it's bad. It's really bad.
BJ Penn is with us tomorrow night. You can meet BJ. Talk to him, hang out with him a little bit at PT's 215 in Decatur. We're giving away tickets for the UFC event. I'll be out there as well. Again, 215 in Decatur, the PT's with BJ Penn. All right, on this card, I was mentioning, hey, you put the time in. It took a while to get to a high level, although at a young age you were very high level, so you were getting title shots. Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. What about him?
What do you think? Is it too soon?
I think he's great for the sport. Yeah, me personally, I think he's only got the 3 fights or whatever, but to say he's not a formidable opponent is not true. He's going to go out there, he's going to have just as good as a shot as anyone else. And you know what? People like Brock Lesnar is good for the sport. I remember when I was 22 trying to fight and there was 3,500 people in the crowd, you know. Brock Lesnar brings more people in. More people Brock Lesnar brings, more people know BJ Penn, more people know this whole thing, and it's good for the sport.
I like that because I remember back to when Tiger Woods was exploding and how many of the older golfers were like, this guy, and it's like, dumbass, he's going to make you money.
Yep.
He may be saving the sport, and I think he did for a while there. How about in terms of his game, though, getting a title shot against someone like Randy Couture? Is he ready?
He's got a lot of competition background. We're going to find out if he's ready if it goes into the 4th and 5th round. Or even, it's you never get tired when you're kicking someone's ass. As soon as you start losing, you get tired. You can beat someone up all day. You know what I mean? Don't matter as long as you're not nervous. But once your central nervous system starts getting attacked and somebody starts going after that, then you're going to find out what you're made of. And we know exactly what Randy's made of. And I'm going to say a prediction right here. I mean, what I feel. I think Brock's great for the sport. I'm glad he's here in the UFC. I'd love to see him a champion one day, maybe even Saturday. But I'm done with going against Randy Couture. He always does it somehow. I'm done.
Well, I started likening it, Dave, to Bernard Hopkins. It's like Bernard, he's too old, he's 43, and literally...
I can't believe what he went and did to Pavlik. And Pavlik was my favorite guy now, and then Bernard comes back and ruins
destroyed
that.
Him.
Yeah, destroyed him.
That shocked us.
Amazing.
I thought Pavlik would win the fight easily.
Yep, but don't ever... Man, Bernard's just... It's too much.
All right, no truth to the rumor. If you beat GSP and Lesnar wins, that you challenge Lesnar. I'm kidding, of course.
I'm going to keep it quiet. We don't know.
Dana White always says, he's like, I got to keep this BJ Penn guy in check because he will fight heavyweight even though he's 155 right now. You know what? We should mention real quick, too, before we get you out of here. And again, tonight, 2:15 in Decatur, PTs. Your website is bjpenn.com.
Yeah.
You guys really did some cool promotions. I don't know I guess it's only open to Hawaii residents. But anyone who hears this on the internet, if you're in Hawaii, you gave away like 2 trips to the event.
Yep, come check it out. There's a karaoke contest. If you like to sing, you can try to win 2 tickets to the fight. And there's a Pretty Wahine contest, a modeling contest. So come check it out, see who's entered, and see if you want to enter.
Need any judges?
I had to actually look up Wahine. I was like, I think that means hot chick, but I'm not really. Is it a certain part of the chick or just a hot chick?
Just a woman.
All right,
just a woman.
But did you already give those out? You must have given them out.
No. It's still going. The Pretty Wahine contest entries end on December 1st, and the karaoke contest entries end on January 1st.
It's to your fight. Is that right?
To this fight with me and George St-Pierre.
Okay. I mistakenly was thinking UFC 91.
BJpenn.com, man. You got to say that's a damn good website.
That's a pretty good price tag. Yeah,
it really is.
All right, BJ, hey, we appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you guys. Thank you, ESPN, and you guys.